Hey there, y'all, and welcome to today's Daily Down and Dirty. My name is Fairlight. Welcome to Airy Fairy Tarot. All right, y'all, today, I've got 5 or 6 different sets of cards. They're paired up, and each one represents a need to shift a mindset. And it's all about fear. It's just fear. So we're going to begin with, we've got the 8 of air reversed, which is good, and then the 11 of water upright. At least this is reversed. This is overcoming the need to martyr ourselves, the need to keep the peace at all costs, which means sacrificing ourselves, sacrificing our truth just to keep the peace. So at least we're overcoming that mindset. But somehow in that releasing, it's almost like we so identify with this savior syndrome, with this martyrdom, codependent people-pleasing syndrome or whatever, that now we're kind of stuck in our heads, because as we move through the recognition that this is a toxic pattern, it's almost like there's a sense of loss of self. Like, if this isn't who I am, then who am I? And just know that there is another side to this, and sometimes it's cyclical. Like, I so identify with this whole reading. Unfortunately, I think it has a lot to do with the retrogrades that are going on. All of it. Mercury stations retrograde today. And, all of it. I don't need to go into the astrology too much, but, you see how there's this cloudy thinking that's, on the one hand, it's almost like it's trying to come into cloud or thoughts, but on the other hand, it could be what's leaving. So again, process. The only way out is through. And so don't be afraid of what is surfacing now, the beliefs that are surfacing, the fears that are surfacing, and shine the light into it. Go into it. What am I fearing right now? Get a notebook, get a recorder, go to nature, just allow the process, go to counseling if you need to. It's okay. So it's just, again, it's a cleansing. And I love that there's this dragon down here. I love the dragons. They're here to support. They're here to facilitate the shift in consciousness so that we can purge all of these belief systems and come into our greater empowerment. So then we move over to this 9 of air, and that's upright. And then we've got the 7 of earth. Again, this deck does not follow the tarot at all. It's its own entity, and I fucking love it. But it looks like this negative thinking. The 9 of air is normally the 9 of swords, and that is so being stuck in toxic thinking, being surrounded by toxic people, being stuck in negative, toxic belief patterns about self. So again, it's more of the same. It's being chained. You see that she's like handcuffed by her beliefs, and it's hard to move beyond. But I do like that there's a lot of illumination. This lotus is growing out of her hands, so it does feel like there's an empowered processing. You see that there's like a bird superimposed over her eye, and then she's got this third eye illuminated. So it's like, as we are in the process of recognizing these limiting toxic beliefs that we've been holding inside of ourselves, and it just feels like a big process of trauma, but being too caught in our minds kind of keeps us stuck from allowing the energy to flow through our bodies. So I want to turn this around, because being too much up here is preventing us. I already said that, but so it does kind of feel like maybe going to nature. It always feels like the recommendation is go the fuck to nature. Go get centered, get some psychedelics, and sit by a waterfall if you can. If not, just go to nature, sit your ass down on the earth, really connect into Mother Earth, connect into the consciousness of nature, and really start flowing that Kundalini energy up your spine, and get out of your head and get into your body. Really get into that connection and start moving and flowing that energy up, and clear yourself out. And I love to point out how the snake is around his neck, but the tail is curled around that solar plexus. And so I feel like that's indicating there's a strong blockage in your personal power. And so, maybe finding some mantras that help to clear out each of the chakras, beginning with the base chakra, the root chakra, about I am safe, I am secure, and just moving through all of those. There's so many different chakra meditations out there on YouTube, on Spotify, like everywhere that you look. There's not everywhere that you look, but you know where to look to find these meditations that can help you move through and clear out these blocked energies in your chakras. And then you can help clear the blockages. And this lotus is at her throat. And so it does feel like you're trying to give birth to something new in your reality, but there's some sort of clearing out the blockages so that you can connect your vision to your voice. And then, but there's something about clearing the whole way through your body. There's a strong connecting into the totality of who we are. So then we move over to this 4 of air and then the 8 of earth. And these are both reversed. And kind of it just feels like a purgatory kind of a feeling. I always feel like this, and honestly, I saw this card when I was shuffling and it was upright. And it was like maybe getting a little structure isn't so bad. So I just feel like we are reconstructing ourselves. Again, they're both reversed, but I really like this one to be upright. So if this one's reversed, there's something about this one being reversed. I do feel like we are liberating ourselves from the false constructs that were created to limit our beliefs, to limit how we create ourselves, how we observe ourselves, how we all of these things about ourselves, and the freedom that we truly have in this creation energy. And this is such an empowering, freeing, like we're unlimited in how we create our reality. And but these two being reversed, it just, again, and so, I don't like to talk about myself unless it feels pertinent, but I do feel like I'm needing to call greater structure into my own life. There's so much more that I could be aligning myself to, but getting lost in the fear, getting lost in, and then there tends to be a disassociation going on. And then it's like the days go by and it's like, oh no, I'm not being authentic to myself. I'm not fearing and obeying the old paradigm, but I'm not really creating in my own new timelines either. And so that just, again, it just feels kind of stuck. And so then we come to these two cards. We've got the 2 of earth and then we've got the 9 of earth. And so it kind of what I'm getting from this is like you're limiting your own abundance. You're limiting all that you can create and achieve and see for yourself. And there's something about very much a lot of giving, recognizing what you have to offer in the world, what your unique gifts are. And that's kind of being blocked by being caught in this fear again. You're trying to keep your balance, but I think it's like one foot is stuck in the old paradigm and the other foot is trying to anchor into the new paradigm. But there's not enough trust in yourself to manifest what you truly want. And so it's like we're not letting go, and we're trying so hard to create the balance that we're not letting the true manifestations to reveal themselves. So finally, we end up with the, what is this? This is the 5 of fire. Yeah, the 5 of fire. And then this major arcana, which is a 23. And it just kind of feels like, maybe you need to break some soul contracts. Maybe you need to recognize what your agreements are. Maybe read the 4 agreements or just, refresh your memory, or if it's your first time finding out about the 4 agreements, educate yourself about the 4 agreements and recognize maybe you're agreeing to something that isn't really honoring of your true expression, and you're not agreeing that you deserve to receive, because she's all in her sexiness, she's all in her creative energy, and she's just waiting for things to show up for her. And again, I just feel like saying, get to nature, reconnect with your own divinity, reconnect with your sexual energy. What are you really here to create? And then allow yourself to receive. It really feels like give yourself a break. Remember and tap your thymus. I am light. I am also dark. I am complete self-acceptance, and I attune myself to my most authentic expression. All right, that's all I have for today. Peace and love until next time.